ratepayer in England and Wales will pay lower annual rates from next April. The calculation covers all properties on the site occupied by the airport, including runways, car parks and shared space in terminals. Gatwick is the second highest ratepayer, and it saw its rates increase from 56.6 million to 60.4 million, leading to a rise in the rates. The cut will reduce Heathrow's property tax bill from £128 million this year to an average of £118 million annually over the next 5 years. Heathrow said the reduction was the result of a government decision to decrease the so-called decapitalisation rate, which calculates the annual payment on the basis of the property's value from 5% to 4.5%. The revaluation of business properties usually takes place every 5 years, but was delayed for 2 years as a result of the economic downturn. Getting back to the noise complaints, if you're somebody who's ever complained about the noise from an airport, how did you do it and what was the response? And please do let me know which airport it was too. Just drop a post at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. EasyJet pilots have dropped the threat of strike action after agreeing to the latest offer from the company's management. The pilots voted by 68% to 32% to accept the latest proposal. The dispute between the company and members of the BALPA union centred on concerns over pilot fatigue. In September, a majority of members voted for industrial action, but EasyJet came back with an improved offer that pilots have now accepted. BALPA General Secretary Brian Strutton said, BALPA will now be working closely with EasyJet to ensure this agreement delivers real improvements to pilots' lifestyles. It's always good news to hear that a pilot strike or an airline strike has been averted. Travellers booking the European city break will spend ages searching price comparison websites for the best value flights and accommodation. But in general, they spend scant attention to the extras, such as how to get to the airport. The amount of times I'm speaking to people at Luton Airport who have driven from Glasgow to save a few pounds on the flight. But there we go. And one of the things people seem to forget about are airport transfers, which can be as little as 50 cents to as much as €100 each way. And this can make an enormous difference on the overall cost. A new survey from 101 Holidays compared the cost of taxis, trains, metros and buses in 36 European capitals and highlights why transfer costs should play a key factor in choosing a city destination. The cheapest transfers are all in Eastern or Central Europe. A metro or bus to the centre of Bulgarian capital Sofia, for example, costs just 50 cents. Other cities which can be reached on public transport for less than €1 are Vilnius in Lithuania, Bucharest in Romania and Prague and Bratislava. You can fly from Luton to all those destinations if you're interested. The cheapest capital reached by a taxi from the airport was Sofia, which was €7.57. At the other end of the scale, 4 of the 5 most expensive taxi journeys were from London airports to the city centre, with Stansted being the most expensive at £116 or €128.85. This is by using the airport's recommended taxi provider. Oslo topped the list at €129.30. Both of the main airports in Paris are also expensive by taxi, up to €70 from Charles de Gaulle and €55 from Orly. And this is all these taxi costs are on the taxi meter. The cheapest European capital offering a shared taxi or minibus is Vilnius at just €3 per person. The survey also lists airports that are closest to the city centre, which usually means faster transfer times, enabling travellers to make the most of their time away. Eastern Europe scores highly here again. Tallinn is 4 kilometres, Vilnius 7 kilometres, Sofia 10 kilometres, amongst the top 10 that also features Luxembourg at 6 kilometres, Copenhagen at 8 kilometres and Dublin at 10 kilometres. Also you can get to Copenhagen and Dublin from Luton. Extremely cheaply at the minute. It's ridiculous how cheap it is to get to Copenhagen from Luton with EasyJet or Ryanair. This is a kind of and finally story, but it's not and finally because it's in the middle. National Airlines has now got its aircraft back after it was impounded in Canada over the weekend for unpaid airport fees. The carrier settled its outstanding bill of $182,000 Canadian dollars. St John International Airport Authority in Newfoundland seized the Boeing 757 after a Newfoundland Supreme Court order. The unpaid fees for the twice-weekly direct flights to Orlando dated back to April, according to lawyer Megan King, who said, St John's International Airport Authority exhausted all avenues to connect the payments prior to obtaining this court order. The aircraft was scheduled to depart St John's International Airport at 5:45 p.m. on Friday, but was not released for the service until the outstanding payments were received, which meant everybody who booked the flight had to be refunded. Can you imagine starting your holiday that way? Sorry, chaps, you can't go on holiday. We've had our plane impounded, and there you go. Awfully sorry about that. London City Airport has been named the best airport of its kind in the world, picking up the Regional Airport of the Year award at the CAPA World Aviation Summit in Amsterdam. Organisers said the award was given to the regional airport that had been the biggest standout strategically even, has established itself as a leader and done the most to advance the progress of the aviation industry. This category covered airports catering up to 10 million passengers per year. Peter Harbison, the CAPA Executive Chairman, said, London City has overcome intensifying competition in the London area as well as political obstacles. Despite these barriers, it is one of the fastest growing UK airports in 2015, with a passenger growth rate 3 times the national average. When accepting the award, Declan Collier, the CEO of London City Airport, said, This award is the icing on the cake of what has been a momentous year for London City Airport. In July, the government granted planning permission for an extension programme that will transform the airport, creating additional capacity for the London airspace system, welcoming new generation of aircraft that open up new destinations, and accommodating 6.5 million passengers per year by 2025, which is up from 4.5 million today. He continued, While waiting for the planning permission, we have been experiencing sustained record growth and managing this with very constrained infrastructure. Crucially, we have done so without compromising the customer experience and continuing to deliver our passenger proposition of 20-minute check-in, which they say is door to gate, and 15-minute arrival, plane to train. I thank CAPA for its recognition and look forward to building on the success of 2016 in the months and years to come. I haven't flown from London City yet. I've driven past it a few times on the way to Excel, which I'm going to next week because it's World Travel Market. But if you've flown from London City Airport, what did you think of the experience? Please do share your stories at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. Confidence in UK tourism sector is at a 12-month high, apparently. UK Inbound has released its latest business barometer results indicating that confidence levels across the UK inbound tourism spectrum are at the 12-month high, as I mentioned. Results also show that July-August bookings and visitor numbers are up year on year, with the US leading as the top inbound growth market. Outcomes were gathered through a UK inbound survey of its members, with 67% confirming that they are confident that bookings and visitor revenues will develop positively in the 12 months ahead. In comparison, back in May-June this year, just 42% of members are optimistic about the forthcoming year. UK Inbound CEO Deirdre Wells said, It's incredibly encouraging to hear that confidence levels are spiked for our members, exceeding those experienced pre- and post-Brexit. Positive further news was reported via a survey with 44% of our members stating that bookings and visitors numbers in July and August 2016 were up year on year. The weakness of the pound and demand from European markets and better weather were all cited as reasons behind the increase. These results show that the UK inbound tourism industry should be cautiously optimistic. And she continued, It is imperative that this trend continues, but we need the support and backing of the government for a strong narrative promoting the UK as a welcoming destination, along with a continued access to the single market and open skies agreement. In the survey, 71% of members ranked free movement of visitors from the EU as the top policy that government should address with the European Union. This was followed by the free movement of migrant workers. Wells added, This is an important issue for our members and we will continue working with the government to address this requirement, ensuring residency for our members' employees is addressed. This business barometer also highlighted that the USA leads as the top inbound growth market for July and August. In contrast, UK inbound tourism saw a continued decline from the visitors from the French market. You can keep up to date with travel news and leave me a message at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. Some breaking news that has come in just before my deadline. Monarch has announced that it is cancelling all flight and holiday bookings to Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt for the foreseeable future. It said it's taken this move in light of no indication from the UK government as to when the airport will reopen to flights from the UK. The airport has recently reopened for flights from Belgium. You can get there twice a week from Belgium now, including one or two companies that can't fly from here. But that's an aside. All flight and holiday bookings for winter 2016-17 have been cancelled, and there are now no plans to have the destination as part of the summer 2017 programme. If the airport is reopened to UK flights in the future, Monarch said it will reassess flying there as a new route. Monarch customers who have existing flight and holiday bookings can rebook an alternative Monarch destination free of charge or obtain a full refund. Spokesperson said that much hard work has been done by the UK and Egyptian governments along with the travel industry to improve safety measures at Sharm el-Sheikh Airport, and it is very disappointing that it remains closed. If and when the airport does reopen, then we will assess whether we will start flights and holidays again. Before the closure of the airport, which happened after the Russian plane fell out of the sky, roughly 700,000 Britons visited there every year, making it a popular and important holiday destination for the UK travel industry. And because Egypt's remaining closed, and with Tunisia, it does mean there's an awful lot of pressure on some of the other destinations, such as Spain. And hopefully I'll be speaking to somebody in the next couple of weeks to come up with some alternative destinations as Egypt and Tunisia still remains closed. All I can say at the moment is if you're looking for a holiday for next year, I would book early rather than wait for a last minute deal, because there isn't as much to go round because of these two large holiday destinations being closed. If you were booked to go to Egypt with Monarch in the summer or this winter and you've just found out you can't go, please let me know what you feel about it at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. Well, that's it for another edition of the Travel Show with John Guinn on ukhealthradio.com. Next week it's the World Travel Market in London, so I'll be off there to see what's coming up for the world of travel for 2017. If there's anything in particular you want me to investigate while I'm there, which will be on the Monday, please do let me know by the 5th of November at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show, and I'll be bringing you what I found on next week's show. I do hope you can join me then, because just like every other week, I'll be checking it out before you check in.